From the dawn of filmmaking, slow motion has been a thing. They would overcrank the camera. That is, the reel would go faster and more frames would be exposed during any given second. In narrative filmmaking, slow motion has been used to make scenes look really dramatic, and by using it in nature documentaries, this is how we discovered that dogs lap up water with the back of their tongue, not the front of their tongue. But regardless why you might use it, I'll show you how using Avid Media Composer, and then use Boris FX Retimer ML to use artificial intelligence to make regular footage look like it's got a lot more frames. First things first, let's dive into Avid Media Composer, and I'm going to show you some fine examples. This little guy is coming in for a landing, and he sticks it perfectly. Ta-da! I'm going to make some interface room right here. Go to the Effect palette, and then down here, let's check out Time Warp. Let's pick out the Time Warp effect, drag it onto the footage, and now let's go to the Motion Effect Editor. Up here, let's take a look, and let's add a keyframe. Now, the keyframe in the beginning is already set. That marks the beginning of the whole clip. What I'd like to do is actually increase this amount, and we could drag it up to about 150-ish, and jumping over to this one, we can bring it all the way down where it should snap to 0. This is going to show exactly how it slows down with a lot of wing flapping. So let me play on through, and I want you to pay attention to what it looks like when it slows down. All right, so let's go back a little earlier when he begins slowing down over this curve here. And I'm going to step forward using my directional keys. Each time I move, it looks like it's adding more of the same frame so that it comes to a stop. And when it comes to a complete stop, it freezes the whole frame. And right here, there are several of the same images for only one frame. And of course, it comes to a stop at the end. Check out how, as soon as it comes to a stop, the length stays the same. In fact, whatever length this original clip is the length that it will be in the end. Avid will not stretch out your clip just because it's slowing down. The next thing I want to bring your attention to is actually up here in these settings. Where you see the word type is a drop-down menu with all the different algorithm interpolation options that are available. Time Warp defaults to using both fields. When you look at this drop-down menu, the top 4 essentially are trying to do the same thing by using the frames that exist multiple times. Below that is the blended method. This one makes a big difference. Watch the footage. It's essentially creating a crossfade between all the frames that are missing, which has that double vision shadow effect, which can have its uses. For the best option at full quality, even though it's the slowest, use fluid motion. We're going to render this one for playback. What's happening here is no longer the default of stretching out the same image across multiple frames or fading from one frame to the other in a blended mode. It's essentially using a morph effect, trying to match one frame to another. Let's see what it looks like when we do the exact same thing using Boris FX Retimer ML, which uses artificial intelligence to make up for all the missing frames. Go up to Effect Palette, and under the BCC options, you'll see Time, and then BCC plus Retimer ML. And now let's open up the Effect Editor. Let's take a look where he sticks the landing, just like so. Now let's say we want to add a keyframe right there. And of course, one at the beginning. So for practical purposes, let's just see what this looks like. I'm going to increase the size of this scale so we can increase this amount right here. Let's bring it up to about 200 some percent, and then back over here. Now you see if you drop it too low, it goes into the negatives, which means it's not going slower, it's going in reverse. That's why faster than light speed is impossible. We're going to make it look a little faster and then bring it down to a complete stop right here. But let's render this to see it in its full smooth beauty. Ooh, stuck the landing perfectly smooth. And walking it backwards, every single frame has movement in it. No duplicates anymore. Absolutely beautiful. Let's take a look at this beautiful shot of these horses running at golden hour. We're gonna go to the Effect Palette, grab Retimer ML one more time, go to the Effect Editor. Now, let's say all we wanted to do was just slow down the speed by half. So let's take it to 50%. Let's play that back. But what if you didn't want to see this beginning and you wanted to see the horses move off to the right to close out this shot? Let's go to the beginning and use time offset. This will slip the footage. Now, what a beautiful shot that is. Now, what if we wanted the entire thing slowed down, but also stretched out? Because this is already a trimmed clip, and the full clip is much longer, we could shorten this to, say, 25%. And even though at 25%, we don't get to see very much, we can actually roll this clip out to change the trim length. Now I want to render and play that back. And depending on your shot, the textures, the shadows, you may see more or less artifacts when you slow it down this much. If your clip was not that long and you can't extend the trim, add a new video track, then drag and drop Retimer ML onto that first layer above your clip. This creates a filler layer, then change the source layer to first below. The length of the filler layer on top will then dictate the length of your clip below. But I want to keep things really fun and simple today, so let's play around with some real-time remapping in a cage fight scene that's stock footage and pretty mild, to be honest, and we'll see how Zak Ciotti compares to Zack Snyder. So let's make a couple of decisions right here. As soon as he starts punching, let's speed it up. And then when he blocks, let's slow it down. And then let's go normal and then speed it up again while he's punching and kicking and then slow it down. First things first, add your effect. So let's scroll down the speed parameter so we can see the graph view. He does a short wind up, and before he strikes, let's add that keyframe. Let's move forward. Immediately speed it up by adding another keyframe and typing in, let's say 250. He swings and misses, and then has to block. Right here, let's add a keyframe and type in 100 to go back to normal speed. And just as the guy on the right starts swinging, let's add a keyframe to go from normal, and let's make the slowest point where he blocks. And type in 25. Let's change the view so we can see what's happening here. We're normal, we're fast, we're normal, we're normal, we're slow, and let's go back to normal here. Type in 100, and now before his next punch, add another keyframe at normal speed, and just as he extends his arm, let's add another one at 250%, and let's see where that kick connects. Right about there, it's in focus. And right here, let's add a keyframe, step forward a little bit, add another keyframe, and make that one 25%. Now let's render and see what we got. Just butter. And that's machine learning for you. It's smooth from beginning to end, it's not jittery, it doesn't have any repeated frames in it, and it looks like you're using a high-speed, high-end, overcranked camera. Boris FX has been incorporating artificial intelligence into their software so that creatives can get past the monotony and do more of the things that they want to do. It's for visual effects artists, it's for editors, it's for you. Go get that free trial at borisfx.com. My name is Zak Ciotti. Thank you for watching.